Antoinette?
Yes.
There you are.
Oh, thank you so much.
Steve? Jane? Anyone else in the press here?
CBC?
Pardon? Yes. And who are you? Global News?
Oh.
CHBC. Anyone else? Okay, I don't have one specifically for you, but I'll give you this.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Can I get it?
Are you a member of the
I'm,
press?
nope, I'm local, supporting locals. We are independent media.
Info News? You get the final one. Thank you. Well, it's 11:28, and I guess this is close enough. So we'll just get started. My name is Elvena Slump. I am a resident taxpayer in Penticton. On August 28, 2014, I received a letter from Harper Gray LLP regarding defamation. The letter was signed by Brian G. Bayham, QC, acting on behalf of the City of Penticton and its employees. Mr. Bayham claims in an email sent on August the 19th that I said the CAO was an unelected power broker who is using illegal in-camera meetings to bully and abuse members of council. Secondly, that she was addicted to power and did not adhere to the obligations of her position and made decisions without being accountable. Nowhere do I mention the CAO in my letter. My issue was the role of council and staff at in-camera meetings. I have no way of knowing whether the CAO is present or not at in-camera meetings. My letter was addressed to council and was sent as a letter to the editor to the Penticton Herald. As a courtesy, the CAO was included in the email as she is the only recognized employee at City Hall. The corporate officer was included in the email as the mechanics of an in-camera meetings are part of her job description. Representing the law firm of Harper Gray LLP is Brian G. Baynham, B-A-Y-N-H-A-M, and I'm spelling this because you might like to look him up on the internet. QC. Mr. Baynham, as a Queen's Counsel, is undoubtedly worth every penny of the likely $800 an hour that he charges for his services to this city. The City of Penticton recently lost a court case against the Penticton Hospitality Association, which cost the taxpayers of Penticton around $42,000. The courts awarded the PHA court costs plus their legal expenses, which likely brings the total close to $100,000 that the taxpayers of this city are on the hook for. If the City of Penticton sues me, this court case will likely take 1 to 2 years to wend its way through the courts, with no guarantee that the city will win. Taxpayers in Penticton are looking at another $100,000 in legal fees and awards. These tax dollars do not belong to City Council or its employees. I believe that Penticton City Council is sue happy and has stepped over the line.
Shame.
Taxpayers have better use for their tax dollars than pursuing individual taxpayers of Penticton with legal actions for comments they might have made.
Right.
There is an election coming in November, and Penticton taxpayers need to carefully consider their options. The decision to send me this letter would require a majority decision by council in an in-camera meeting. In my opinion, the message that this sends to individual Penticton taxpayers is clear. Keep your head down. Go to work every day and pay your taxes. Do not offer any advice or criticism. If you do, we have unlimited tax dollars to hammer you into the ground.
Here, here.
will now take questions from the press. If you have any questions relating to a specific document, please give me the document. Now, that's in your press package. Please give me the document number when you ask the question.
Elvena, you only mentioned the CAO in what you were discussing, but I understood from the mayor that there were 4 staff members that were mentioned.
Yes?
Who were the other ones, and what were the
Okay.
letters and incidents with them?
The CFO is responsible for the errors in his department. There were errors in the financial statements that required amending. Correction of those mistakes revealed that the taxpayers of Penticton paid $2,857 in moving expenses for the CAO after selling their home in Asuyas last year. Please read the enclosed press article for further clarification. The second mistake was an error in the tax bills sent out to the property owners, which required additional expense as corrected statements had to be sent, resulting in lower taxes for the residents of Penticton. Now that was one of them. I mentioned before that I sent this letter where I talk about the mechanics of the in-camera meetings. I sent as a courtesy to the CAO, and also I sent it to the corporate officer because she deals with these kinds of issues. Those are the only ones that I can think of that are mentioned in the offhand, that are mentioned in the letter.
If the city does proceed with the lawsuit, are you prepared to fight it?
I only received this letter last Thursday at 3 p.m. and of course we had a long weekend. I have not had time to seek any advice from a lawyer. The city, when they sued the Penticton Hospitality Association, they had a local lawyer. And they took this lawyer all the way through the court case, and the PHA, they got their own lawyer, and it ended up costing us $100,000. And they likely paid this local lawyer somewhere around $400 an hour for his services. I'm faced in a different situation. I have Mr. Bainham, QC from the coast. Now, Mr. Bainham, as I said, makes about $800 an hour. In his letter to me, he has stated that he advises me, as he is a defamation specialist. If you look him up on the net, you'll see that. He has advised me I better seek the opinion of a defamation specialist.
Shouldn't have to.
So this means I am expected to spend $800 an hour protecting my rights, and so I have to find a lawyer, and I have to discuss this carefully with the lawyer, and then decide from there what I'm going to do.
My question is for either Charles Lowen, who has been acting CAO from time to time, or I notice Councillor John Basilaki. I would like to ask which in-camera meeting, the date that this was voted on by. Was this a council decision or arbitrarily the decision of an employee?
You're here.
Mr. Lowen,
Acting.
acting CAO.
Well, I'm not the acting CAO.
You are senior staff. You obviously have an interest in being here today, sir.
Well, I was interested to see what Ms. Slump had to say.
I see.
This was
Are
not-
you
this-
aware, did council approve this, sir?
I think Mr. Basilaki, Councilor Basilaki, could answer that question.
Councilor Basilaki, was this voted on by council to seek legal action against this senior citizen?
Absolutely not. The first I heard of it was on Monday night.
I'm sorry, could you repeat?
Can you speak up, John, please?
The answer is absolutely not. The first I heard of this was on Monday night.
Was there
Are you
in
in?
camera on Monday night?
No. Tuesday we had an in-camera meeting, and I can't discuss what was discussed at that meeting. But City Council did not vote on this. We did not participate in it. It was, and don't ask me who brought it forward because I
Was it
have
in-
no idea.
Was it introduced by a staff member, or was it introduced by?
I have no idea. We were never informed.
Are you in favor of seeking legal action against this woman?
I think that the taxpayers of Penticton, no matter who they are or what they have to say, they have the right to question what City Hall does and get proper answers. That we don't have, that they shouldn't have to ask a question that the answer they get automatically asks more questions. That more questions have to be asked in order to get the answer. That's my own personal view. I'm not speaking on behalf of City Council. I'm just speaking on my personal.
Are you going to do something about it?
There's an election coming up, November the 15th, and the only people that can do something about, please, it's very difficult for this City Council to really do anything concerning staffing because we cannot discuss staff outside of in camera. It's against the law, we just can't do it. But there's an election coming up November the 15th, and if you guys want changes, that's when the changes are made. Listen to what everybody has to say, and that's how it's done. We are a democratic country, and we have to follow regulations.
Councillor Vasilevsky, you didn't answer the original question. Do you think that she deserves to have this defamation?
But I did answer it. I said that they have the right to question what the city of Penticton or any city. I mean, it goes to all the communities. They have the right to question what's happening behind those walls. And they have the right to get the right answers. If they don't get the right answers, then they make up not make up things, but they have to assume that what they are saying is correct. You know, do I think citizens should be taken to task because they're putting their views forward? I don't think so. That's my personal view. And if it does happen, it should be done in a collaborated decision by City Council, who are, by the way, the only people that have the right to make those decisions, not staff on their own, especially when it comes to costing the citizens of Penticton tax dollars.
So who decided to send her this letter if council didn't decide on
I
it?
have no idea.
Who actually hired the firm in Vancouver?
I have no idea. Well, you were never told.
Who would have the authority to do that?
What's your role in the city then, John?
That's a good question.
John, just going back to a little bit more basic point, the mayor told me yesterday that this was in response to Elvena attacking staff, which he said was not which he said was not something that was that the city could allow.
Okay.
Well, he said councillors are fair game. He said staff is off limits.
I also have to tell you that according to the law, the city has the right to protect its employees. And perhaps one of the city senior staff or whoever that might have been made the decision that they are being bullied or they are being, what's that, another word I can use? That they needed protection from the public, and that's probably why this went forward. But I don't believe that staff members should make that decision on their own. It should go through City Council.
Mrs. Slump, have you ever made any physical or violent threats to anybody from City Hall?
They're probably bigger and younger than I am.
The mayor unfortunately wasn't here when we had our meeting, so we couldn't get any
Well,
answer.
you're not allowed to talk to staff to ask them who authorized the letter?
No, we have to go through our CAO.
Right, the one employee rule?
Yeah,
So the one employee probably made the decision, is what you're guessing?
I have no idea.
How
I
are we
couldn't
gonna-
tell
as
you.
taxpayers, now we're on the hook for another bill.
Yeah.
How are we gonna find out
Well,
who
City
authorized that letter
City Council will have to find out and take it from there.
and report back to
Yeah.
James Millard?
I would, well,
To the public?
Take the lead on it.
yeah, the
John.
public,
And
yeah.
we want our money back.
Yes, we want a refund.
Take the lead on it, John.
I'll do my best.
Ms. Slump, will you allow this action to tamper your criticisms of City Hall, or will you continue to be spoken out?
I don't believe at this point that I've done anything wrong. Just a moment. I've got a quote for you. In my opinion, while it is important for the citizens of Penticton to realize that staff is responsible to counsel for their actions, it is sometimes necessary for taxpayers to express their disapproval when apparently no action is being taken on their behalf to remedy employee situations that are not in the taxpayer interest. It is the responsibility of counsel to deal with these issues. Their reply has been to shoot the messenger. In my opinion, taxpayers should be aware that the employees mentioned are all senior level employees and non-unionized. Therefore, they should take responsibility for their actions. And if they fail to do so, and if council fails to do so, it remains the sole responsibility of the taxpayer to bring these problems to light.
Mrs. Slump, is your husband a Canadian veteran?
Yes, he is.
Of how many years?
He served 20 years in the Canadian military. He served 3 tours overseas, including in the very unsettled Middle East.
4 tours.
Do you,
4 tours, pardon me, 4 tours. He's also a qualified weapons instructor.
do you see this as an attack on free speech that our veterans fought for so hard for?
I certainly do, and I think that today it's the beautiful Penticton, it's raining today. Penticton is weeping today because today free speech is dead in Penticton.
Yes.
When I got this letter, I certainly did feel bullied, and I also felt I was treated very, very, very unfairly because the allegations in that letter, and the press, if they look through their press packages, will see what those allegations are and my response, and the people will understand that there's no sense in this. There's no comparison to what I said to what I'm being accused of. They're shooting the messenger.
And for people who aren't familiar with you, what motivates you to write all these letters to candidates?
In 2008, I ran for city council. At that time, the city was in an uproar with lots of different problems and divisive issues. I joined a group called OSRA, which was the Okanagan Skullhaw Ratepayers Association. And the Ratepayers Association contacted several citizens in town and asked them to run, and I was one of the ones they contacted. And since then, I've kept an interest in civic matters. I feel it's the responsibility of taxpayers to, if they can use their knowledge responsibly, to try and inform other taxpayers of what goes on in their city. And I also think that I have the time to do it and many other people don't. So I just feel this responsibility, and so I do this, and I do it for the taxpayer.
How does it feel?
Would you run again for council? You got my vote already.
I have been asked several times to run for council. I ran in 2008. You guys had your chance. I am now I will be 76 years old in January. Quite frankly, for me to run for council now would interfere with my nap time.
How does it feel to have all of this support?
I am very gratified because I have been writing, I started writing shortly before I ran for election about matters in City Hall, and I've been writing ever since. And I get criticized, and doesn't matter, I deserve it. That's free speech, and that's what it's all about. If somebody doesn't like what I say, they can tell me. I don't care. And they can tell me in the press. I don't care about that either. I am entitled to my opinion. But today makes me feel just wonderful. I appreciate the support I see here. I appreciate the people in Penticton that understand what I have tried to do for the last 6 years. Thank you very much for coming.
Mrs. Slump, we quite often hear municipal politicians, not only here in Penticton, but all across Canada, complaining that voter turnout's low, people aren't engaged, people aren't interested, civic meetings get 3 or 4 people out, and what's your comment to that?
I am very, very excited about this young people's group that's just started. I really hope that they get involved and start paying attention to what people have to say, what politicians have to say.
Time for a change.
Time for a change, yes.
Would
The old guard can't last forever. There's got to be new people coming on, new voters, new candidates.
Why not just apologize? Apology doesn't cost anything.
I could apologize if I was wrong.
Elvena, what was the deadline they gave you for an apology in the letter?
Well, it was sent to me on Thursday. I got on my computer about 3 o'clock and it was there waiting for me. I don't know what time they sent it, but I got it then. And I was given a week to reply. So that means I should be replying today, but I will reply probably to that lawyer tomorrow.
So you won't be apologizing?
No. I'm sorry.
Thank you. The weekday, Wednesday, or day after meeting with the mayor is at noon. Judy Sentes is taking it, so I'm gonna have to ask her questions.
Well, thank you all for coming. It's been a pleasure. I'm not going to forget this support. It means a lot to me.